we can go to the next slide. So there are several benefits you get from the income tax exemptions. The reasons you apply for income tax exemption as a person with disability, one is to save cash on income. This is where when you're purchasing the assistive devices and modified vehicles, where you get maybe the wheelchairs, the crutches, and also the modified vehicles, you get them affordably. There's also access to government procurement opportunities, AGPO. This you get for being tax compliant. Then I think we can go to the next slide. Then the other exemptions, that is import duty, value added tax, that is the VAT for the importation of assistive devices such as the wheelchairs and walking sticks, plus motor vehicles modified for special needs. So kindly know that the taxes exempted are import duty and VAT on those on the importation of the assistive devices. The ones I've said, such as wheelchairs and walking sticks. Then all goods or equipment donated to organizations and institutions of or for PWDs are exempted from any government levy that would increase the cost of said donation. So this exemption helps them not to incur those extra costs from the government levy. Then basically, so that's the overview of the benefits of
to display presentation.
Sorry? Could you move to the next slide? Hello? Margaret?
Hello, yes, Margaret. I can hear you. Hello,
you could assist us by moving the slides.
Okay.
We're in slide number
3.
I think we're in slide number 4. 5,
okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Slide number 5.
Okay.
So basically, these are just the other exemptions that would apply. That is the import duty and the VAT, which I've said is on the importation of assistive devices such as the wheelchairs, and all goods and equipments donated to organizations and institutions for PWDs. They are exempted from any government levy that would increase the cost of the said donations. So from there, I'm going to take you through the process of now applying for the income tax exemptions as a person with disability. So first of all, we have a checklist. This is basically the bare minimum requirements you need for you to apply for the tax exemption. One, we need first to acknowledge that the process has recently been changed, and normally they didn't used to charge for the application, but now the application is being charged at 1,050 shillings. This is when you, at the point of application on eCitizen, you get to pay that amount. So the first step is you have to log into your eCitizen account, your individual eCitizen account, for you to apply for the income tax exemption. After you log in, you'll get a place where you'll have to input your national ID number. After you put in your national ID number, ideally it should pull your details, so that now it will take you to the step. Now you'll have to attach now the required documents, which are a copy of doctor's medical report from a government gazetted hospital. From the portal, you'll clearly be able to see where you've been told attach the medical. So that's where you'll attach that medical report. Then there's a copy of medical assessment form from a government hospital. It also has its place to attach. Then you also have to attach proof of income for employed For employed persons, this is the certified copy of current payslip. If you have business income, we need to see your bank statements or M-Pesa statements for at least 6 months within that time you're applying. Then if you have rental income, we need to see the rent schedule. And if you earning pension, you need to see the pension schedule. So all this, there's somewhere you need to attach, just as the medical assessment and the doctor's medical report. Then the other thing you need to attach is a letter from the employer. This is in cases where you're employed. And the letter should state the nature of your disability. Then, as you're aware, from the last applications, you needed to attach a tax compliance. With the new system, you don't need to attach a tax compliance because they've integrated the system, and CPWD have integrated with KRA such that the system is already is able to identify if you have a valid tax compliance. So from the onset, if you don't have a tax compliance certificate, it won't even give you this first step to apply, to just tell you don't have a valid tax compliance. So the tax compliance already has been integrated to the system, so you don't need to attach it. So then for renewal cases, the certificate must be under 90 days from expiry. That is 3 months from the date of expiry. That's when now you can start applying for the renewal. And it's advisable to start 3 months earlier because of the process of vetting, because we normally don't know the exact dates. The NCPWD, National Council of People with Disability, are the ones who give us the dates. So it's good to apply 3 months prior so that there's that period at least you're able to be covered before your exemption expires. The next slide. So basically that's the process. So after you attach all the documents, you click apply, then you pay the 1050, then you'll get the acknowledgement. Then you wait now for the council to notify you on the next vetting. So basically, I've taken you the tax exemption process. The first thing first you have to do, before you even go to eCitizen, the first thing you're supposed to do is, as a person with disability, you're supposed to register with the National Councils for Person with Disability. This again, the automated is done through eCitizen. So you register first with NCPWD. You get to be registered as a person with disability. Then now you apply for the income tax exemption via eCitizen website, attaching the list of documents required, the one I've just taken you through. Then after that, NCPWD will inform you of the vetting in all the regions. So during the vetting normally includes a committee with members from NCPWD, Ministry of Health, KRA. And what they normally do is they vet the applicants who've applied for the tax exemption. And after vetting and doing the thorough checks, they recommend the exemption to the commissioner to process the application on iTax. So ideally, the other system used to be when we go for when the vetting happens, the NCPWD still goes back to lodge the application on iTax for the certificate. But the new system has incorporated everything such that during the vetting period, after the after the committee has come up with their recommendation either to approve or reject your case, you get the certificate there, and then they've incorporated the iTax system with the NCPWD. Initially, after the vetting, the applicants are being told they have to wait like for 30 days for the certificate to be generated, because there was another process involved of now lodging the application on iTax. But with the new system, they've integrated so that when they recommend the application, you just get the certificate there and then. So yeah, I think that's that. So the next, I'll take you through now downloading the income tax exemption certificate. So this is where after you've applied to PWD as a person with disability, you've gotten your registration card, you've registered for the certificate, pay the amount, gone for vetting, you've been recommended, and you've gotten your certificate. So I'm going to take you through downloading the income tax exemption certificate on iTax. So you log into your KRA iTax via your account on our website. You can also use your ID to log in. Then on your profile, when you log in, or on just that interface, you navigate to the tab of useful links. You'll just see it there, useful links. Then from the useful links, if you scroll down, there's a consult and reprint certificates. You click on that. Then under the business processes, you choose certificates. Then under the business process, you choose the IT exemption certificate. So when you do that, it will automatically auto-populate and you'll be able to see your certificate. So down there, you click consult and you download the exemption certificate. Then from there, now you can share the certificate with your employer to the effect of the exemption on income. So basically, that's just how you can navigate to download your certificate on iTax. But basically, when during the vetting process, after they recommend, it should come direct to your email. So it's advisable to update your email to the current one on iTax because everything is sent on the email. So, but in the event you didn't get it on email, now this is a process for downloading the certificate online from your iTax profile. So basically, the next slide is just showing you where the useful link is. It's at the top right corner. So you click useful links, then down there, consult and reprint. It will take you to a page where it will ask you for the PIN. The PIN already will auto-populate itself. So for the business processes, you click certificates, then business process, IT exemption. Once you click that, you'll be able to see it here down. Then now you click consult. After consult, you get the certificate, then download it. Then the next slide is this one is for, I'll let my colleague from custom will take over for importation. But what I can mention on my side, kindly let's go to slide number 15. Because from 12, 13, 14 is on importation. My friend, I think, will talk extensively on it. Slide number 15. So this is just a self-assessment return of income. So this is how now you'll get to use your certificate when filing. First of all, returns should be filed by everyone. And it's the self-assessment return should be completed and submitted to Domestic Taxes Department on iTax by 30th June of the following year. So by 30th June of the following year, everybody should have filed their tax returns. When filing the self-assessment return, the taxpayer, persons with disability, they should capture the tax exemption certificate number to access the exemption benefit. So when you're filing, there's a place where now you'll be able to input the certificate number, and once you input, the system will automatically calculate itself. So I think that's it for the process of application of tax exemption for persons with disability from the domestic side bit of it. Margaret.
Thank you, Wambui. I think now we can invite Edwin to take us through the exemption for motor vehicle importation. Edwin? Edwin, we can't hear you.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
But it's telling me disabled share, host disabled attendee screen sharing. Can you enable?
But no, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I'm saying I've been disabled to share.
Oh, to share.
Yes, can anybody able me to share my screen?
Okay. Okay, Edwin, you can try.
Shortly. Is my window, can anybody see?
Yes, we can see.
Thank you. Then again, my name is Edwin Karubu. I'm going to take you through the tax exemptions for people living with disability, the customs side. I'll start by the definition of disability. This is according to the Disability Act 2013, as amended in 2025. Disability includes any physical, sensory, mental, psychological, or other impairment, condition, or illness that has or is perceived to have a substantial or long-term effect on an individual's ability to carry out ordinary day-to-day activities. What is the guiding legislation? First of all, it's not my slide, but exemption is anchored in the Constitution of Kenya, Article 210.
Mo,
But now for the individual
what
tax
are you
heads.
putting that?
Hello? Let me continue. For the other different tax heads, import duty, VAT, and excise duties rely on the different tax laws. For motor vehicles, people with disability are exempted import duty as per the ECMA 2004, fifth schedule, part A, item 8, which reads, disabled, blind, and physically handicapped persons, materials, articles, motor vehicle, including one motor vehicle, the repetition there, which A, are specially designed for use by disabled or physically handicapped persons. All right? For VAT, we rely on the VAT Act of 2013, first schedule part 1, section A, item 39. For the excise duty, we rely on the Excise Duty Act of 2015, second schedule, part A, item 4. The important points to note when importing a motor vehicle, one is eligible to import one motor vehicle every 4 years, but duties are payable on the previous motor vehicle. Okay. Also, a person can import a motor vehicle with the commissioner of customs dissatisfied is imported as a replacement for another motor vehicle originally imported, which has been written off due to accident, fire, or theft. So you have to go through the process of writing off a motor vehicle. The insurance, the police, it's a process altogether. Confirm the motor vehicle has been written off. For materials, articles, and equipment, these are materials and equipment which are specially designed for disabled or physically handicapped persons. Okay? For example, the wheelchair, assistive devices for hearing loss, for sight, or any special design item which is specially designed for use by disabled or PWDs. Okay? Number two, materials, equipment, and articles which are intended for the educational, scientific, or cultural advancement of the disabled for the use of an organization approved by the government. All right? The taxes exempted for these materials and articles and equipment is import duty and VAT only. But we said for the motor vehicle, taxes exempted are import duty, VAT, and excise duty. What is the process of exemption? You must be registered by the council. Okay? So you have a PWID or number. Okay? Then you have a checklist, which will be a bit down there. So you must have all the items in the checklist. Okay, we'll look at the checklist later. Secondly, you have to present yourself for an interview. This is mandatory. It's not optional. We need to see who we are giving the exemptions. Our offices are, we moved from Times Tower. Now we are at Samia Business Park. Samia Business Park, Block C3, 5th floor. Samia Business Park, Block C3, 5th floor. You must appear in person. Upon the interview, if you are successful, especially for physical disability, you're given a letter which will assist you in the modification of the motor vehicle. Okay? Wherever the motor vehicle is. Okay? After the motor vehicle has been modified, a report is sent to us, the exemptions unit, or the verification officer, depending on where the vehicle is sent to us in the unit email. Upon receipt of the verification report, that is item 5, then we process the final letter. Okay? We process the final letter. Thereafter, the clearing agent attaches the final letter plus all the other supporting documents and applies in ICMS. Okay? Then the application will be processed. If positively processed, the application will be ready for use in a declaration. That is the clearance process. If for any reasons the application is declined, maybe you have chosen more taxes than you are eligible, a reapplication is done and it will be processed accordingly. Hope you're clear until there. This is the list, the checklist. In the checklist, you need to have a letter of application addressed to the Commissioner of Customs and Border Control, right? You have original commission letter to the National Council of Persons with Disability. You have a copy of medical assessment report. And at this juncture, let me say also a copy of the medical report. They are different. Okay? You have the original and the copy. The copy should be signed by a commissioner of oaths or an advocate of the High Court. So the copy of the medical report and the copy of the medical assessment report should be certified by a commissioner of oaths or an advocate of the High Court. For physical disability, you need a valid driving license. Yes, a valid driving license. They need importation documents consigned to the applicant. That means the bill of lading should be consigned to the applicant, the person who's supposed to enjoy the exemption. Same to the commercial invoice. Other importation documents include the TCC, the IDF importation, import declaration form. We also require the parking list. All should be consigned to the applicant. All right? Bank statement for the last 6 months. This includes the bank statement which was used to pay the motor vehicle, and also your salary account in case they are different. Okay? Cash remittance transfer slips for payment of the motor vehicle, both the physical hard copy and the electronic. A valid tax compliance certificate. Okay. Also, we are requiring nowadays an exemption certificate from domestic tax. Okay. Then we require a copy of the national ID, a copy of the NCP and the disability ID. Although nowadays it is online, you can just print the application. Okay. Other items to note, I think things have had already said this. So in case you want to replace the previous motor vehicle, you need to demonstrate disposal of the previous motor vehicle. So among the documents required is an entry as evidence of payment of taxes on the previous motor vehicle, an entry and an e-slip. These are important when you are applying for replacement motor vehicle. The challenges we find mostly a maybe presentation of fraudulent documents, maybe any fraudulent documents. Yes, two. At times we see a discrepancy between the PWD and the documentation. Yes. The kind of disability declared in the documents is different from the actual disability, if any. Okay? All right, so way forward. Way forward is, of course, thorough scrutiny of documents, engaging stakeholders, relevant stakeholders, confirm authenticity of certain documents. Okay? And the other way forward is like what we're having today, having this kind of centralization so the interested parties can know what is expected of them. Okay, I think I come to the end of my presentation. And over to you, Faith and Wambui. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Edwin. Allow me at this juncture to welcome Wambui or Faith to take us through some of the questions that have been raised in the chat box. So Wambui or Faith, you can take the floor.
Yeah, thank you. This is Faith. There are questions that have been posted, and someone is asking, is it the NCPWD to apply for income tax exemption on behalf of PWD? The answer is no. It's the responsibility of the PWD, persons with disability, to apply for them, because that is your responsibility. You're the one who wants the certificate, so it is your responsibility to apply for the income tax exemptions. One says they applied for renewal in June and was recommended for after the interview in July 2025. How long should I wait? Mine is expiring on 31st October. I think that had already expired, or they meant November. So after it has been recommended by the National Council for Persons with Disability, they're supposed to upload it on the iTax system. So kindly you can do a follow-up with NCPWD for them to upload to the iTax system for our staff at KRA to be able to work on your certificates. Then one has asked, how can one recover tax deducted after effective date of tax exemption? So if you've been deducted tax and you had a valid income tax exemption certificate, you can apply for a refund. But the refund, say for example, you were deducted this year, you have to wait now for the full year to end for you to apply for the refund in 2026, because when you're applying for a refund, you'll be asked for a P9. So currently you can't apply for a refund for a period that you are deducted in the year 2025. You have to apply it in the next year, so that when you are asked for the P9, you're able to attach the P9 together with your income tax exemption, showing that you are deducted and you had a valid income tax exemption certificate. Someone asked, why do we persons living with disability require to pay government housing levy? This is an interesting one. So as it is, housing levy is a statutory deduction. What do I mean by statutory deduction? These are mandatory amounts that employers are required by law to withhold from an employee's gross pay and remit to the government or other designated authority. So these are taxes that are deducted directly from gross earnings of an employee, and they are paid by the employees to the governing body or the designated authorities. And right now, the statutory deductions that are directly deducted from our earnings are usually pay as you earn, National Social Security Fund, that is NSSF, the Affordable Housing Levy, Social Health Insurance Fund, what we call SHIF. So these are deductions that are mandatory. They are not part of the exemption, the amount that is exempted from paying tax. What is being exempted is your income up to 150, but statutory deductions are not part of what is exempted. There are questions for if a PWD has nominated a driver, are car modification necessary? I think my colleague Edwin will touch on that. Why do we need to have a necessary interviews by KRA Customs? I think that is for customs. Someone has asked if the tax exemption limit on salary income is 150,000. It should be raised to at least 250,000. Again, as it is right now, the law requires, the requirement by the law right now is 150,000, and even in the PWD Act, that is the amount that is exempted from tax. So until the amount is increased, the amount still remains to be 150,000. Can one get exemption on both salary and business income in case one has both? The answer is yes. So if you have a salary and you also have a business that you're running using the same PIN, the first 150,000 that, so they consolidate those incomes. So the salary, say for example, you're getting 70,000 and the business you're getting 200. So when they consolidate, the first 150,000 will not be subjected to tax. Whatever will be exceeding that 150 is what will be taxed. So yes, both salary and business can enjoy exemption. And then annually, it's up to 1.8 million. So whatever amount will be that ceiling of 1.8 million or above, the 1.8 million is tax-free. But whatever will be above the 1.8 million annually will be subjected to tax. Most of these questions are for customs, so I'll skip them. Is can Guardian, that is also customs. I'm a PWD with permanent virtual challenged. Last year, my certificate was coming to an end and I sought for renewal. But this process took almost 1 year, in which case I lost the exemption for almost 1 year. Can I claim the amount deducted prior to exemption renewal? So my question is, when the certificate expired, did you go for the renewal immediately or there was a lapse? So kindly note, it is your obligation or responsibility as a taxpayer to make sure that you apply for renewal of expiring income tax exemption 3 months prior to the certificate expiring. If KRA recovers tax in a period where the certificate was not valid, kindly note that refund will not be refunded because they will ask for the income tax exemption certificate to prove that you were deducted and you had a valid certificate. So if you were deducted and you did not have a valid certificate, you will not be refunded. They only refund where you were deducted, but the certificate was valid. So kindly make sure you start the process before your certificate expires to avoid such inconveniences. Would you send us tax exemption requirements for import of cars? A colleague from customs will answer that. I bought a car and it was not exempted, but KRA wants me to pay. What should I do? Again, that's another customs question. I applied for a refund in August 2025 for 2024 and not approved. What could be the problem? Mostly when taxpayers apply for a refund, you are required to attach the documents that are putting you in a refundable position. So in your case, if it's because you're a person with disability and you are deducted tax while having a valid certificate, you need to upload a payslip and a valid income tax exemption certificate. So it could be the refund officers maybe wrote to you asking for these documents. So in the event maybe you did not forward, that is why maybe your refund is taking time. But most of the time, usually they reach out to the taxpayer using the email that the taxpayer has provided. Also, when you change your email, kindly if you change your active email, be updating your KRA data, because KRA usually uses the email that the taxpayer provided. Sometimes we communicate to the taxpayer and then they say they did not receive any communication from us. But most of the time, you find it's taxpayers who changed their emails and they did not change it from their data in the KRA system. So when you change such information, make sure you align with your KRA database. What is the percentage of tax imposed on a persons with disability income on employment over 150K earnings? So any amount that is above 150K earning, 150,000 earnings, now start being taxed at the different KRA bands. So usually it's the 10% is the first tax band, then 20, 25 and 30. So depending with the amount, they will be subjected to the different tax bands. So it varies with how much is above the 150,000. Someone is saying the 150,000 cap is too low in the current economy situation, since it was set a long time ago, and the economic situation has changed. I know this is policy, but something should be done to raise the amount of the taxable salary. Well, we agree with that, but the law is the law. As long as it has not been published, we cannot change that amount until it is put in law in the PWD Act. I can take 3 more, then I hand over to my colleagues. Tax exemption is renewed after every 5 years. What is the fastest way to renew to avoid delay? So the fastest way to renew, as I said earlier, is ensure you start the process 3 months prior to the expiry of your certificate. That way, you ensure that you don't have disappointments of delays of renewal of your certificates. Yeah, I'll hand over to my colleague Edwin to take over the custom questions.
Thank you. Let me see. Okay, the first question I see from Helen Gitonga. If PW has nominated a drive, if PW has nominated driver, are car modifications necessary? For hearing and person who are visually challenged, They nominate drivers and some cases of mental. They nominate drivers, so modifications are not necessary. Second question, why do we need to have unnecessary interviews by KRA customs when all the necessary documents have been submitted to them and the drive test had already been done at the port for the car entry? It's Lucas Winder. Interviews are mandatory. Documents can be forged. We need to see who we are giving the exemption and confirm the disability. Okay? The saying test drive has been done at the port. I don't know which test drive you're talking about, but just know interviews are mandatory. Millicent Obura, if tax has to be paid before importation of another vehicle, then is it an exemption? Yes, it is an exemption. If you see, you replace a motor vehicle after every 4 years, but you pay taxes on the previous motor vehicle, which has depreciated for 4 years. If you wait a little bit longer, to depreciate even more. So it is an exemption. Gladys, would you send us the requirements for tax exemption? Yeah, the checklist is there. Does the driving license require specific endorsement for class of disability? What if I already have a current license for several years and is able to drive normal cars? Arthur, we're not too strict on that, but if you are a new driver, you request to go for the disability class. But for experienced drivers, it's on a case by case. Okay? Your previous valid license can suffice, but it's on a case by case. Can a guardian apply for importation of a car for use of the child with disability? You see, the importation documents, okay, because of the word child, that means the person is, the disabled person is below 18 years. And the quick answer is no, because the importation documents should be consigned to the name of the person enjoying the tax exemption. With the child above 18 years, then that there is no problem. I bought a car, that's Lusimwangi, and it was not exempted. But KRA wants me to pay tax. What should I do? Lucy, if you pay tax on the previous motor vehicle, I don't see why KRA should demand more taxes. You can check your logbook, usually written whether you paid tax or not. And you can check the documents you used to import. Down there, tax payable, usually identified, and the e-slip used to pay. So in case that is happening, you can go to you can send the same documents, but it's highly unlikely. Okay? Going through the questions. Someone asked Dan King, can a gift of a car to a PWD being exempted from tax? We only allow the next of kin to purchase a motor vehicle for PWD who is above 18 years, and evidence of kinship must be produced. For example, birth certificate, show kinship between a parent and a child, or birth certificates to show your siblings, beyond the nuclear side, beyond the nuclear family, have a problem, or even a marriage certificate to show spouses. That's only, that's how far we go. So you go through the normal process like you're importing. Which tax exemption for car import by PWD does it waive? You only exempted import duty, VAT, and excise. IDF and RDL are payable. I'm going through the questions, so Justin, oh, panelist, okay. Someone had asked if, for instance, a PWD buys a vehicle from an NGO, how the process be since the car is in question is exempted from duty. Please note, this is the first car for the PWD. For us, in case you mean a diplomatic organization, which imported a duty-free motor vehicle. So what happens, the process is the same, but you need to attach additional documents. For one, a Pro 1C is a transfer document from the diplomatic individual or entity to the new buyer, that is the PWD, and I'll attach the logbook. Then the other documents, you attach the other documents. Of course, you still have to come for the interview, okay? So that the two additions you'll have. I think that is, someone asked, if a car has to pay tax on the previous motor vehicle, what value? What happens if you are replacing the previous motor vehicle? We need to seek the assistance of Exemptions Office at Thames Tower, that's 9th floor, and Valuation Division at Samia Business Park. The Valuation Division will give you the value of the vehicle and give you a document to show taxes payable. I think those are the questions that were there. So over to you, Margaret. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Edwin. And I want to confirm from Faith and Wambui if there's anything maybe they were to handle after that, or they had answered all the questions before we wrap up. Faith?
There's a question I saw about caregivers. Currently, the caregivers are not being given exemption because the regulations are not yet out. So once that has been formulated by NCPWD, then now we can start giving the caregivers the exemption certificate. But as it is right now, there are no regulations in place to define who a caregiver is, who will qualify. Once all that has been defined and who qualifies and what are the thresholds, like will they also enjoy the 150,000 exemption, or is part of it? Is it both parents who get to benefit, or is it one parent? Is it also when you are a caregiver to your say father and mother or siblings, are you a caregiver? So once all that has been regulated, KRA now will be able to come in and issue the tax exemption certificate for caregivers. But as it is right now, there are no regulations, so caregivers at the moment are not receiving the income tax exemption certificate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Faith, for that clarification. I want to thank all our panelists, our subject matter experts, for this very informative session that we've just had. We thank you for highlighting all those issues that affect persons with disability. And in case there is any other question you have, you can write to us via our email address, callcenter@kra.go.ke. That is call center's email. We also have the number, the mobile number that you can call if you have a question that you feel was not addressed. The number is 0711 099 then 999. It is 0711 099 999. That's our call center number. We also have our social media pages where you can visit and engage with us. We have Care Care for Facebook and also the same for our X or the former Twitter platform. That is at Care Care Twitter handle. Okay, so I believe that we are coming to the end of our session. We are very grateful to our panelists. We are very grateful also to our sign language interpreter who has enabled us to follow through and ensure that it's inclusive. This training is inclusive of everyone. And we want to inform you that we are going to have more sessions like this upcoming. And this particular session is going to be available on our KRA TV YouTube platform. So you can follow us from there anytime. And you can look out for other upcoming sessions. Allow me to wish everyone a good day ahead as we end this session here. Thank you.